Getting ghosted by guy number one, ghosted by guy number two, rejected by all of these jobs. I've been taking it so well until I decide, oh look, let's put all of this together. Buy shit, cry about it. Aw, hell, it's about to get real.
Welcome to Digressive Diaries, a safe space for the random ramblings of a millennial with ADHD, navigating life with no GPS, so help me God. This is for the black sheep, the outcast, and the badass. Welcome home. This is not a regular YouTube channel. This is my life. So join now, stay forever, and welcome to the tribe. Okay, I don't think I have been enthusiastic to say that intro in such a long time. And if I'm being quite frank, I think I dated the last video and said that it was March 19th. And for the record, it is April 6th. Time is flying and I have not been able to record videos. Let me first catch you up on what the hell has been going on since March 19th. What's going on now? Not much has changed. So let me just rip the band-aid off. As of yet, and let me double check just in case something might have happened. No. It looks, no, wait, downloading 2 messages. No. Okay. So, LOL. No word back from the school that I was super excited to potentially be working at. Don't know if I'll get another interview. I do know someone that works there that is a part of the interview process, but I have been disconnected from them for some years now. So I don't know, y'all, and I can't know. So again, like I said in the last video, just really focus on what I can control. It's just been really rough. I have been applying for jobs here and there, and jobs that I'm well qualified for at institutions that I have worked at, just trying different things. It just is what it is. And I know there is no mistake when it comes to what God has planned for me, what is meant for me. So what's mine will be mine, and in divine time. Amen, amen. Okay, great. So that's jobs out of the way. Finances, I'm very proud of myself. I did, do my best to reach out to a bunch of clients to promote my sessions, but in package format, so I can collect more money up front. This has me feeling very good ahead of some really expensive bills. I did not make the financial video. This is not the financial video. This is a life catch-up video. But I am gonna make the financial video, but I wanna time it so that I can capture the best tool I've ever used to track my finances, and it is getting redone. Shout out to my best friend Crystal, entrepreneur of a lifetime. So I cannot wait to share that with you guys. But financially, I was happy to collect some extra money. I feel really good about being able to make my car payment without having to think about, oh my God, is anyone gonna book a session? So I love that. It reminds me that as an entrepreneur, it is so important that you're thinking about how to continuously get ahead, how to forecast for the future. And it's helping me just be more efficient when it comes to my sessions with my clients. I think the difference between how I'm running my business now versus how I had my practice before is that I had people on a schedule before. So people were committed to a time slot. That was their time slot, and every other Tuesday, I could look forward to seeing them, and therefore I could look forward to seeing their money, right? So I realized that now, because I don't have as many people on a fixed schedule, and a lot of people are more so on a I'll hit you up next time kind of thing. Some, because they have been with me for a while and they can be on that type of flex schedule. I expect that, an as needed type of thing, because once you've been working with me for a while, you don't really need to continue to bi-weekly. Some people just want to check up on a monthly or ever so often basis, right? But I think the mistake that I've made was allowing newer people to book and just just get in here. No, you need to book if you're going to be committed to making multiple sessions. And so I'm certainly going to, of course, there are some instances where I am working with people who they have really, really wild schedules. So their Tuesday does not look the same every single week of the month. So I do understand that there are going to be some people that are not able to commit to a fixed schedule, but I do think I still need to figure out how to repair that. But either way, because right now my main focus is finding a W-2 job, I'm somewhere 6-7 in between, wanting to get a bunch of clients and have them on a fixed schedule. But I know it's not in my control how many clients I get, but I know that at least I'm going to be thinking about that. But I definitely want the W-2 income predictable on top of the client income. So still figuring that out. Still have not gotten my deposit back. I am trying not to harass this lady because she said over and over again that she will reach out to me when my check is made available. But I just don't like that it's taking forever to get that back. They said that on average it takes 30 days. Babes, I moved out in February I moved out on the 14th. I moved out on like, I think the 12th or 13th, really. They're like, we're about to hit 60 days soon. So I'm really annoyed, but you know what? Everything comes in divine timing. It's gonna come exactly when I need it. So I'm doing my best not to really worry about that. All right, boom. So that is finances and business out of the way. I'm just focused on doing what I can, really doing my best to protect my mental health. I do notice that there's a correlation with my cycle, which is why cycle syncing for women is so important, to just be mindful of where you are in your cycle, because hormonal fluctuations can definitely make you feel a little cuckoo bananas. Because I certainly had a breakdown because let's talk about dating a little bit. So last video dated was March 19th. I did start talking to someone around that time, but they were just kind of like, whatever. But then we ended up on the phone for 5 hours and 55 minutes, round up 6 hours. And then on top of that, spent an additional 2 hours with them in person because they cooked like this really delicious like spaghetti and meatballs dish, and the conversation was just so rich. I was so refreshed by it because he was so intellectual, so like, you know, just so articulate, so smart, and we just had such great conversation. Y'all, he ghosted me. So at first I was like, okay, but I was like, in this era of my life, I'm not chasing anybody. Like, I have long moved past being the frantic, insecure, anxious attachment girly that needs to do that. I said nah. So whatever, right? I had met a guy on, I believe, the 21st at the sports lounge that me and my homegirl Sherry went to. And I was like, you know, he's kind of cute, whatever. We had exchanged numbers at the end of the night. I'll give you more details. But for right now, all you need to know is that he ended up hitting me up later that week. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. Never mind that guy that ghosted me, right? Until we had plans for our first date, and I was really excited about it. And I realized, because he said that, oh my gosh, the CEO came in with a big ass, this may not happen the way I thought. So I'm gonna let you know, because we were planning to meet at like 6. And I was like, it's okay if it's later, like whatever, just let me know. And I said, and if you need to work, like I can, like I have things to do. I'm working on this workbook. I don't know if I told you guys that, but I'm working on a workbook for children of transactional parents for my mental health business. And so I was like, you know, it could also turn into like a co-working date, and then we get something to eat after. And he just completely did not respond. So I was like, and I do not take disappointment well, because in this season I realize I need things to happen when they say they're gonna happen, because I'm already going through so much. So when he did not respond, the next day is a Saturday, so I'm like, hey, are you okay? Because, you know, I was like, maybe something happened, whatever. I always default to that because of the way I grew up, of the way I recognize like not having a lot of family and only having my mom. I grew up feeling very anxious that something could happen to the people that I care about, even if I don't know them. That is just like my default thinking. So I went to that. He didn't respond. So I was like, oh, Marsha, you're being ghosted again. Literally broke down, didn't realize I was like carrying all this like emotional like heaviness, because I just been trying to roll with the punches and just be like, no, you're okay, no, you're okay. But then when you get to a point where you take inventory of all the things that are not okay, sometimes it just takes a toll on you. Ended up having a huge conversation with one of my close friends and realizing that, oh my God, I'm carrying a lot of disappointment, I'm carrying a lot of grief. So getting ghosted by guy number 1, ghosted by guy number 2, rejected by all of these jobs. I've been taking it so well until I decide, oh look, let's put all of this together, Marsha, and cry about it. Boohoo crying, because I was just like, what is going on? Because of course then I have to think about the fact that my mom and I are not talking, and I feel rejected by her also. So it's so interesting because of course this is during the luteal phase, okay? And granted, the luteal phase is, you know, a good chunk of our cycle, but because it is the most tumultuous, because we're preparing for disappointment, maternal disappointment, because I'm not a mom, you know, it is a very sensitive period, because I do think I am very resilient. I do, you know, handle disappointment very well, but I'm human and I'm a woman, and I'm going to experience these hormonal fluctuations that will make whatever extenuating circumstances feel like just 10,000 times worse. So I ended up breaking down, and I was just like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. There was another guy that I was dating at one point. Quick little about him. We tried to talk. He lost his best friend. I was trying to be supportive, but then I was like, ooh, Marsha, don't do too much, because then he might form an attachment to you based on this bond. Then I was like, you know what, maybe this could work. He disappointed me. He didn't show up for me during my move. Then we talked about it. He apologized. He said, I'm not going nowhere. I said, I think you got too much on your plate. He said, girl, here's $40. You hungry? I was like, I was hungry, but okay, fine. Since you trying to fight to be in my life, because my daddy didn't do that, and neither did my brother, and I'm not talking to him either, so fine. And then next thing you know, nothing. And I thought we had a date plan, and then he just completely like forgot about me. So I thought he ghosted me. I was Delulu, just like my sweatshirt says. I was Delulu. That never happened. We never had plans. He just told me it was a weekend where he was off. But like, also, you didn't capitalize on an off weekend to finally meet me and take me on a date. What is wrong with you? So I was upset with him, giving him silent treatment. But I was like, Marsha, you're not being fair. You have to really be accountable. I apologize for, like, you know, being cuckoo bananas, as one of my clients like to call it. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I think I am going through a lot right now. He's like, no, it's okay. But then I realized he wasn't really doing enough. And being in this season where I'm, again, very sensitive to disappointment, I was like, no, you gotta go. You gotta go. So I told him. I didn't have to tell the first two guys, because obviously they had already decided to deuce out. And then there was this older guy, the guy I told y'all about with the date that went really 6-7, because he was sweet, but he was just also like saying the most ridiculous things. Yeah, I had to tell him, like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm sorry, I'm not in the season. I really appreciate you as a person, but I can't do it. So I cut him off, but he was the most like, no, it's completely fine, but I do want your friendship. And he's a cool person, so I was like, cool, we can be friends. Crazy enough though, I made this decision. I come to terms with the fact that, you know what, Marsha, it's okay. This is not a season for dating. This is not a season for trying to have new friends. This is not a season for new. Okay, we have to have the tried and true right now, because we cannot handle disappointment. So, and we don't have to go searching for things to feel bad about. Okay, dude that I met at the sports lounge apologizes. He's like, I swore I hit send. I am so sorry. I apologize for the delay in responding. I had a bit of a family emergency come up. And so I was just like, okay, whatever. So then we kind of get back cool, but I have a FaceTime conversation with him where I like pretty much was very honest. I was like, look, I appreciate you reaching back out. I was under the impression that you were starting to ghost because you were just incredibly non-responsive. I don't do well with that. Okay, Bookie Butt, I don't do well with that. I don't like that, and I don't take disappointment very well. So at the very least, communicate, because then I'll at least be like, all right, whatever. But just no call, no show that's crazy work. I'm giving you grace because, you know, I'm gonna take you at your word where you did not intend to ghost me, but what the hell. And he was like, no, I completely understand. And he was just very forthcoming about how he is as a communicator, not making any excuses for himself, but being just like a lot more mindful. Since then, we did go on our first date for real, and it was really nice. Vibes were really cool. He was so respectful, complete gentleman. Trying not to smile so much as I talk about him, because a guy. And LOL at how I said this is not a season for dating, but I was like, but I think what it is about him is that I appreciate how much of a mature communicator he is. And he's showing me by like just a genuine conversation. I like that he's not sexualizing things. I like his morale. I like his transparency. I like that we're both just coming in like, hey, he's like, yeah, I'm very direct, and that rubs people off the wrong way. I said, well, I'm very direct, and sometimes that rubs people off because they're not really ready for that level of like honesty. So I was just very appreciative that he, you know, he and I had similar qualities, and we just appreciate a lot about each other. So I can say that, first of all, it's also like a record in Atlanta for me to be talking to someone for as long as him and I have been talking, because I feel like I have not been running into quality guys. Like, the stories that I have are nightmarish, because like I don't know where these guys come from, but I do think they make a detour to hell at some point before they come to me. And so, you know, it just feels nice to be talking to a very nice guy. I'm still learning a lot about him, but what I'm learning in talking to him is there is a young, you know, obviously I'm carrying a lot of my inner child stuff, and my inner child definitely had an anxious attachment, and so she's naturally going to like cling to anyone that feels good, right? And the thing about him is he is very busy, and I like that when he described himself, he said, I'm not going to say busy, I'm going to say it's a tight time constraint because of all these different things going on, and because he's working at a startup, there's a lot that comes with that, blah 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 blah. But I like that he doesn't text me all the live long day. I'm not getting love bombed, which the Leo in me is like, love bomb a little bit? No? Okay, fine. It's fine. You don't have to love bomb at all. But like, I like that he is someone that shows me with his time that he really cares about getting to know me. And so I appreciate that. And while a younger part of me would have been like, oh my God, so he's not texting us all day? Like, what's going on? I'm learning to appreciate that, like, he's someone that genuinely makes time for me when he's able to, and it's rich quality time. His attention is not divided. He, was just very forthcoming about like not being a big being a big texter, but his conversation is so rich. His heart, just how he shows up, very, very rich. Another thing I like about him is that he seems very principled, very like strong man of faith. And what I appreciate is that he's not the kind of person that uses the Bible to justify certain things. Like when talking about, the pain that I'm experiencing with my mom, because we talked a little bit about that, he said, yo, do people know about these other verses that, where God is encouraging parents to be good to their children? I was like, and he just sounds very supportive, very like, yeah, I know, I hear you. And like, he's very motivational. I wasn't trying to really let him into my life like that. But what I noticed about him that was really like refreshing was that when he would ask about my day, when he does get to send a text over and ask like how it's going, and I'll be like, hey, yeah, it's so, like, hope you're having a good day, whatever. He'll be like, hey, like, why is it so? And he'd care about the answer, and he'd give like an in-depth response. This all sounds like, Marcia, like, why aren't men doing this? But I have not been running into emotionally intelligent men, so it has been very difficult. So I appreciate how selfless he is in those moments and how supportive he is. So I do appreciate that about him so far. So yeah, like, talking to him has been nice. It's teaching me that like intentionality can take many forms. Someone texting you every day does not mean they're intentional. It can mean they also have an anxious attachment and that they're really excited, and they're probably using you to drown out whatever the hell is going on in their life. So it's teaching me to look for certain things. I have been so productive lately working on this workbook. Again, it's a workbook for children of transactional parents, and my goal is to have this released by Mother's Day so people can feel comforted by the fact that they have this tool that's going to help them navigate their mommy wounds. I am so excited about this. I have not had this amount of pride about something in such a long time. So this being a culmination of my pain, my story, my healing, my training, my education, all of that, and now giving people a physical tool so that I can help more people beyond what I can do if I am working with them one-on-one. I am so happy. This is definitely the beginning of some true wealth building for me, because I do believe digital products are a big part of how I will bring in wealth. So I'm so excited about that. Very proud of myself, because me and my ADHD being able to sit down and commit to some deep work time to get this done. I'm averaging somewhere around 2.5-3 hours a day working on this workbook. So I'm very diligent and intentional on getting it done. Probably another reason why I have not been recording as much, but I am going to stay on it. Obviously the next video you guys are going to get is going to be sometime this week, because I got to give you 2 videos every single week, and that's my pledge. So I'm so grateful for y'all's support. Still just a very weird season. Still a lot of things are just very much not defined in life right now, but I'm just doing my best. One personal update: my mom's birthday is coming up, and I don't believe I'm saying happy birthday. That has been something I have been wrestling with. It's actually on the 13th, and right now I am strategically planning how I'm going to spend that time, because I do not want Tati to badger me about, so you're not going to tell her happy birthday, because again, I do not need any strain on our relationship. If she's going to badger me, it's going to have to be over text, and I'm going to do my best to avoid her as much as possible that week, so that I am not emotionally triggered, because it's already going to be a hard time being no contact with my mom and not wishing her happy birthday. So there's that. Yeah, so I believe I've shared everything that I wanted to share. What a cool 20-minute update on the past 19th. like the past 3.5 weeks of my life. So who knows what the next update will look like. Hopefully if there's anything that changes between today and freaking tomorrow or Wednesday before you get a video on Thursday, hopefully it is good news, okay? Because your girl could use some good news. But all in all, I'm taking life in stride. There's some mental health manifestation things that are helping me like really like constantly shift into a better headspace and a good mood and an optimistic kind of space. So I'm just doing my best to stay there. I'm very appreciative for the friends that I have. My friends are the most amazing family members I could have ever chosen in this lifetime. I have a wedding coming up at the end of the month, so I'm happy about that. And I am grateful for this masculine presence that's very healthy, that's funny, that's, you know, taking the edge off. Oh, because what I did not tell y'all is how I got scammed getting tires. I don't even have the energy to get into that. I really don't even have the energy. Just, if I had to say it in 2 minutes, because I don't want this video to be any longer than 25 minutes. If I had to say this in 2 minutes, went to get my tires checked out because my tire pressure was low. Found out I had to replace all 4 tires. Not what anyone in this financial situation needs to hear, because what the fuck. Decides after talking to a friend to consider a used tire. Does not do everything friend tells me in terms of making sure every tire is good quality, because I'm just a girl. I don't like doing these things. Did have my cousin on the phone with me to make sure I did not get haggled, because he was trying to charge me $120 for a wheel alignment. And what the fuck is a wheel alignment? I didn't know I needed one of those things. He gives me 4 tires. As soon as I pull off, I get home because the place was only like 3 minutes away. I hear hissing. I come right back. I caught a nail that fast. No problem. They went ahead and replaced it. I wake up. This is where I had the date. Then the next day I wake up and my car is two of my tires are again bad pressure. My car was shaking the entire time on the way to the date, by the way. So very dangerous. Need to get the wheel alignment. Need to get this car checked out. What the hell is going on? Go to Discount Tire. Should have went there first. Didn't do my research. Was too anxious and frantic about not having an accident on the road. Needs to get it done quick. Goes to Discount Tire. Says, hey, I know I need a wheel alignment, but also don't know what's going on with these tires. He checks the tread on each of the tires. I gave my tires up at a 4. One of them that I got acquired was a fucking 5. I said, what the fuck is that? He was like, ma'am, yeah, it's just gonna happen sometimes. You never know what you're gonna get. One was a 6.7. The other was a 8. That was a pretty good tire. And one of them was a freaking 3. I said, what the hell is a 3? He was like, that's really dangerous. Called a guy, cussing him out. He was like, ma'am, it's a used tire place. You're gonna have to, it is what it is. They're not all gonna be the same. Da 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 da. I said, you literally gave me a tire that I found out was full of holes, and you gave me a tire that was a 3. He was like, put the video. I don't care if you leave a 1-star review. Put a video up, and did. I hope he never sees success. Anyways, I had to go ahead and pay for 2 tires because one was literally full of holes and plugged up and sold to me, and the other one was obviously a 3 and just dangerous to have on the road. Thankfully, all of it could be put on Klarna because I did not have an extra $300 and something after spending $200 and something. So yeah, and I can say that I am happy to have a healthy masculine presence because he definitely took the edge off. It feels nice when you're drinking Prosecco and, you know, you're talking to someone who just makes you feel like not just pretty, but just like makes you feel good. It's just like having another friend, but one that want to rub your booty. You know what I mean? It's nice. It's nice. So I'm just happy for all the things that are going well. I said I didn't want this video to be longer than 25 minutes, so I have to go. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.